Hello there, good people. How are you doing? Welcome back to Money Conversations with Magical. Let me ask you a question. Why would you want to risk your entire savings to a single hospital visit when you can transfer that risk to someone else? So today I'd like us to discuss something that is draining money out of people's pockets. I'd like us to discuss health insurance, or what you can call medical insurance. As I've said before severally in my previous videos, no financial plan can be said to be sound or complete without insurance. In this case, let me say that no financial plan can be said to be complete without a medical cover. Why is this the case? This is because you're only one illness away to being financially destabilized. You could be financially very stable, doing very well, but a single major illness in your family or on yourself can leave a dent on your investments. So you can lessen the pain by transferring that risk to an insurance company by buying a medical or a health insurance. So most people think that health insurance is an unnecessary cost. They think that it's a bill that is taking away part of their fund money. But I want to tell you that medical insurance is not a necessary bill. It's the transfer of risk. Every day you go without insurance, you are gambling that you'll not either get sick or not get into an accident. You're actually self-insuring by exposing your savings, your investments, your business to paying a medical bill that takes money out of your pocket, that money that you could have used to achieve your financial goals. So remove the risk off your shoulder and transfer it to an insurance company. There are 4 ways that you deal with risk. One of the ways is by avoiding the risk. You can either avoid the risk, you can reduce the risk, you can retain it, or you can transfer the risk. So when it comes to avoiding the risk, you cannot avoid getting sick or getting an accident. At one point or the other, you might get sick. That's just biology. When it comes to reducing the risk, yes, you can reduce by eating right or exercising, but that doesn't mean that the risk will not occur. It will still occur. The other thing is retaining the risk. That means you pay out of your pocket. And you know what that does to your pocket. It means that you're diverting money you could have used to achieve your financial goals to paying a medical bill. And the last one is the transfer. This is where you transfer the risks to the insurance company. When you buy a health policy, you're telling the insurance company that I will be giving you a small amount of money every month or every year in exchange that in an event, an unfortunate event of illness or an accident happening, you will pay the bill. The company will pay the bill. So you're actually trading uncertainty with certainty. You are buying peace of mind. So it's not about what if I don't get sick. It's about what if I get a major illness or get involved in an accident. How then do I save myself the pain of losing all my savings or affecting my business or dipping into my emergency fund? So let's look at a case scenario of how then you save the money. Assume you are 40 years of age and you want to buy a medical cover of 500,000, sum assured. At 40 years, that would mean you pay around 33,000 per year, which translates to around 2,750 per month. Okay, so let's now compare that to a single night visit to a private hospital. I don't want to get into details of how our public hospitals are. So let me focus on private hospital. a single night where you pay a modest bed rate of 25,000 shillings per night, and maybe it's a surgery and you pay 150,000 for the surgery. So that's a cool 175,000 shillings. Okay, so if you're uninsured, the 175,000 wipes out your emergency fund, wipes out the money you had set aside for vacation, maybe wipes out the money you had set aside for your children's school fees, just like that, while you could have transferred that risk to an insurance company and saved yourself. Just by paying the 33,000 per year, instead of by not paying that, you end up paying 175,000 shillings on one single event. So there are so many options that you can use to buy a medical cover. You can go through the government. The government offers that through SHIF, what is called the Social Health Insurance Fund. So as long as you have an ID, you can register into that scheme and benefit from the services offered therein. The second way you can do is approaching a private company, insurance company, and buying a medical cover for yourself. Sit down with them and let them tailor-make a solution for you and your family. So some of the things you need to look out for when you're buying that medical cover, you'll need to find out what are the waiting periods. Certain conditions, for instance, the pre-existing conditions could have a waiting period of 1 or 2 years depending on the condition. Others, like maternity, have a waiting period of 1 year. So it's important to understand that so that you don't get disappointed when the event occurs and it's not paid out. The second thing you need to find out from the service provider is the exclusions. What are they excluding from your cover? Get to understand things like cosmetics, are they covered? Things like dental, optical, are they covered? Just get to understand so that you know what to do. The other thing you need to find out is the hospital panels. Which hospitals does your cover allow you to go, so that you don't find yourself ill, rushing into an hospital only for them to tell you that your cover does not allow you to be treated in this hospital. I know some of the cheaper options limit the hospitals that you attend to, but at the end of the day, you get a good service even in those other hospitals. The other one you can find out is it on copay or full. Copay means that when you go to the hospital, you're required to pay a certain amount of money before you can see the doctor. For instance, in some hospitals, you'll pay 1,000 shillings or 2,000 shillings. Just get to know that so that you don't go to the hospital and you're told to pay and you're wondering, why am I paying and I have a medical cover? The other thing you might want to find out is the limit. What are the cappings? You have a medical cover of, let's say, 1 million shillings, but they tell you if you're diagnosed with, for instance, cancer, the maximum we can pay out is 700,000. That's capping. Just find out what's happening. So ladies and gentlemen, you cannot control when an illness or an accident will happen, but you can control who is to pay the bill. So stop carrying the risk and transfer it to an insurance company. Thank you. See you in the next video.